the quietest I ever seen Ashlee be. I was like waiting for Ashlee to start interjecting and saying crazy stuff, and she was just on mute. I was like, where is Ashlee? Where's all this? Where is Ashlee on this date? So Ashlee in her confessionals telling us how pissed she's getting. Like, Stormy is up there reminding him that she's single and stuff. And she's like, girl, we not here for you. We are not on Ready to Love. Like, this is about me. We need to be focused on helping me out, girl. You're supposed to be grilling him. So Stormy didn't understand the assignment. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Brandy Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl, Brandy Yvonne. Here at my channel, we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of all of our favorite shows, y'all. This video, we are talking OWN's new show, Ready to Love, Make a Move, Season 1, Episode 5, Blast from the Past. Before we get into anything, y'all, please do not forget to subscribe to this channel. It is a growing channel, y'all. I would definitely appreciate y'all's support. Also, hit that thumbs up button, y'all. We got to push this video through the algorithm because it's late. But also, comment down below. Let me know what you thought of the episode. It had a bit to it. It was good. It was interesting. And share the video where you like to share your videos. You can tag me at Brandy Yvonne on Twitter if you'd like to share on Twitter or X, as they call it now. Anywho, let's get into the episode. Sorry I'm late, y'all. I was in the Bay Area, okay? I was down in Oakland, in downtown Oakland. One of my friends from college had their 10-year wedding anniversary party, so shout out to them. I don't know how they didn't make 10 years already. I feel behind in life. I'm like, I ain't got married, had no kids, and y'all already on year 10. I gotta catch up, but it's all good. So we had a good time. I posted a pic on my community tab if y'all want to see how I was looking, okay? I was feeling myself. Anywho, we had a good time though. And so got to catch up with my college girls, so that's always fun. Anyway, let's get into this review. Okay, so we're gonna be playing catch up, y'all. Okay, so the episode basically picked up where they left off last week, where we're still waiting on Ashlee to make her decision whether she's gonna keep Kirsten or not. And so she said she was concerned with him wanting to date the people, but she's not concerned anymore, and she's deciding to keep him. He's a red flag to me. I have a bad feeling about Kirsten, and he kind of showed me the reason why later on in this episode. We're going to get into that. I don't think he has Ashlee's best interest at heart. I don't see that. I feel like Donald had more of her best interest than Kirsten did. I just don't see it for Kirsten. I don't think he is going to deal with Ashlee's emotions in the right way. I just don't think so. But anywho, she decided to keep Kirsten for whatever reason, just like we all predicted because we saw him in the previews, right? My sock. Anywho, then we see Sherese. Sherese is deciding to keep boring Maurice or not. Maurice the mute, everybody on mute. So she said, they're getting to know each other and it's been good, but she needs more. So she decides she's going to move in a different direction. I was like, finally, Sherese, finally. Leave Maurice and his Gucci slippers at home, girl. Maurice said he was shocked. He wasn't sure why he got eliminated. He felt like, they were building something and communicated well. I don't know how he didn't see it. And the fact that he didn't see it definitely means he needs to sit at home then. If you couldn't see what the issue was, Maurice, let me fix this, y'all. Then you need to stay at home, sir. Because I don't understand how you didn't see it. Anyway, so then we had... like I said, Sherese decided to get rid of him. Oh, he gonna say his confessional, right? He gonna say, it's gonna be her loss. She'll be back and good luck. I was like, Maurice, please go home and go take care of your kids. That's what you need to do. Okay, so anyway, moving on the next day, we see Ashlee cooking in the kitchen. She said, she learned to cook for her mom and her grandma. She making a crab boil. She making jambalaya, okay? The food was looking good. So she's making dinner for the ladies. And so Tamica Lee came through. Before Tamica Lee came through, they was talking about their matches and stuff. And Sherese said that Maurice still be calling her and talking about he want to show her around town. And they was like, didn't you let him go? She was like, yes, but now he calling me. And she's like, yeah, I'm like the one that got away for him. And I don't know about all that, Sherese, but it is funny that he's calling now. And so she's like, I don't know, I'm going to keep, Maurice in the background. She don't know if she's going to give him another chance or not. And then Donald is still contacting Ashlee. Ashlee said her and Donald are building on their friendship, and she's still in contact with him, but she had to, choose herself. Okay, girl. Now I think somebody was talking about this before. I think all of us were curious as could they still be in contact with the ones they get rid of? So it sounds like they can. And I was like, if that's the case, Verneesha, you could have been got rid of Jabari, okay? Because you didn't slept on a couple good ones like Walter, for Jabari, and you could have kept Jabari in the background and still been calling him anyway. So, that's good to know that they can do that. So, because I thought once they were gone, kind of thing. So, anywho. So that's cool. We get this like real world dating element to it as well. So it's just not feeling like this big old produced show, even though that's what it is. Anyway, Tamica Lee came in. She's like, "Oh, y'all making jambalaya? Y'all making seafood? She want to be part of the team, okay?" So she said, she want to bring some help for the ladies this week. They've been in this process for like 4 weeks. She feel like they need some help, so they're gonna bring on their best friends from Ready to Love. So we got Kamil. Coming from DC, y'all know Kamil and Zadya, child, they were a hot mess. I think that was the first season I reviewed. That was like one of the first shows I started reviewing this channel. And I just did the reunions because that's all I could do at that time. Because that's where I started. And then I took off doing the rest of the seasons of Ready to Love. But yeah, they were a hot mess. So I was like, oh, we got to deal with Kamil and Zadya on our screen again. All right. Anywho, then we had Liz coming for Verneesha. I didn't realize Liz and Verneesha were that close, but all right. And then Ashlee had her friend Stormy from the show. I vaguely remember Stormy because I just remember bits and pieces of that Atlanta season that Ashlee was on. I don't think I watched it all from beginning to end. So then, what else do we have? Oh, and LJ came for Sherese, from the Miami season. I was like, LJ, what you up to with your women's? What you up to? So anywho, I was like, hey, LJ. So anywho, they came, and so Tamica said they're going to get ready to go on dates with their keepers so that the friends from Ready to Love can kind of grill the keepers and, help them make the right decision. Okay. So first we get Kamil and Zadya going with Cameron. Zadya said that Kamil's like the annoying big sister she didn't ask for, but that's her girl. But she did say in the confessional that Kamil could be a bit much, and if you don't know how she is, it could come out the wrong way. So they're going to show a clip. Remember that dinner scene at the getaway from the DC season, y'all? When everybody had on that yellow, and Kamil and Zadya was getting into it with Aisha, because Kamil was threatening, like, y'all better not eliminate my man. Y'all will beat y'all ass. Y'all better not eliminate my man. And Cornelius was sitting at the table looking scared, and so was Naeem. And I was like, okay, I remember that scene. Kamil was cutting up. Okay, but Zadya acting like she wasn't cutting up with her. The way she talking, Zadya acting like she was the mess that Kamil was creating. Girl, you was down there in the trenches with your girl. What are you saying? So, anywho, Cameron comes on the date, and Camille's getting to know him. He said he's a doctor and all that. And so she was like, okay, so you're gonna be busy. He's smelling the coffee that Zadya has. So he's like, oh, let me taste this coffee. It smells good. And she's like, oh, he tasting your coffee? That means y'all done kissed already, huh? And so Zadya's like, what? No, he just tasted the coffee. Camille's like, mm-hmm. And so Camille's like, what else has he tasted? And I said, you know what it is? Kamil knows where Zadya was when she came home at 6 a.m. disturbing Sherese's beauty rest. So that's what it was very much giving. Kamil, what's the tea? Kamil said, girl, I know you was out all night long playing along with Cameron. So I already know y'all done did what y'all done did. Okay, tell us the tea, Kamil. So anyway, Cameron was feeling like he was in the hot seat for sure with the ladies. I think Kamil had a pen and paper. She was doing way too much. So she was like, okay, you a doctor. It means you're going to be busy. Like, are you going to have the time for dating Zadya and all that? And he said, he's trying to create generational wealth, trying to do investments and things like that so he doesn't have to work every day. But, that's going to be a year or two before he get it popping like that. I'm like, Cameron does well for himself. He's a pharmacist. Doesn't he have like a photography business or something like that? He got some kind of other business on the side. Like, dang, what else could he do? Jesus. And so then Camille's like, yeah, I don't know. And then she asked him about moving. I think that was the next thing that came up about like, are you opposed to going to up north, perhaps like DC? So he said after coming from Omaha, he ain't down for the snow no more. He trying to stay down there in the South. Zadya said New Orleans don't agree with her because she be down there sweating out her wigs. So she ain't really trying to move there. But I'm like, girl, this is the premise of the show. So Kamil was like, well, y'all gonna have to figure out something, like visit each other. So he was like, well, it's gonna have to be more than a visit. And so Kamil was like, she doesn't think that Cameron is a good fit because he's not gonna have time for her, and she needs someone who's going to be more attentive to her and all this stuff. And she's like, this is my baby and I don't want nothing to happen to her. And my thing is, like, with women, and I'm not just saying this with Camille's idea, with women in general, okay, some of us want, you know, a really ambitious man. I want an ambitious man. You want a hardworking man, some, you know, a high value man, whatever you want to call it. You want them to have a good job, a good career. But then you're going to complain they're not, you know, oh, but are they going to have the time? Which, it's a balance to life, right? I'm not saying they shouldn't make time for you. Everybody should make time for you. You are worth it. If they're not making time for you, that's a problem. Like, trust me, I agree. I went through that, okay? I was with someone who had a great career and they struggled to make time for me. So I get that. But I feel like it's also hard to want both things at the same time. And it could be hard to find both things at the same time. So I feel like, you know, there's a fine line there that maybe we have to figure out what works, because you can't expect to have this man who's making all this money. He's 35, so he's still grinding in his career. So of course he ain't gonna have time, all the time in the world, to be on the phone with you or whatever you want to do. So I don't know, I just feel like it's a balance, but he definitely should make time for you, right? Like, you know, you're gonna make time for the things you want to make time for. So I just feel like people need to be careful asking for one thing, but then you're expecting this opposite thing as well, is my point. So anywho, moving on from there though, we see, I believe it was Liz going on a date with Verneesha and Jabari. And so, you know, Jabari and Liz are getting to know each other. He asked Liz where she's from. She's from Houston. He's from Jacksonville, Mississippi. Is it Jackson, Mississippi? Jacksonville, Mississippi. Y'all know the city. Anywho, we find out that Jabari teaches human resources. Liz asked what is his definition of success. He said peace, coming home to peace, you know, happiness, everything good at home. That's his definition of success. Liz liked that. She said, well, how do you feel about a woman being, you know, a businesswoman and success and all that? And he said, that's fine and all, long as she knows how to, when she come home at 5 o'clock, turn it off. Because at home, you are not the boss. I was like, oh, okay. So then Verneesha piped up. She was like, well, that is not the case for me, because like I can't turn it off at 5 p.m. That's not how it works as a business owner. Like, you can't do that. And if you are owning a business, like, your job is 24/7. Like, it don't stop. There's no coming home at 5 and then it's over. You're constantly probably working on things. So Jabari, you know, that's not really his lifestyle. He's more routine. Verneesha likes to go out a lot. And Liz was saying, like, you know, she goes to a lot of events and she's asked to come to all these, you know, high power things. And I believe Verneesha does hair. So maybe she gets a lot of, like, high-end clients and gigs, I'm assuming. I guess she popped in the Houston streets. I didn't know that. Shout out to Verneesha. So she's like, you know, are you going to be able to deal with that? And so he said usually he in the bed by 9:30, 10 o'clock, because he got to work in the morning, okay? And so he said he hasn't been in a situation like this before where he was dating someone who wasn't home from work by the time he was home. I was like, oh, that might be an issue. That definitely might be an issue. I think their lifestyle differences could be definitely an issue in my opinion. So anywho, I'm trying not to sneeze, y'all. So, you know, Liz asked him, like, you know, would you be opposed to making some compromises in that way? So he said, you know, at the end of the day, you know, how he wants to live his life is up to him. But, you know, if he's not going to, basically, like, he could be willing to change if he is dating somebody or something like that. Anywho, we're going to see how that goes. Liz said in question, like, Verneesha, girl, you are a catch. You have a good heart. You are doing the darn thing. And so Verneesha's like, yeah, that's right. That's why I'm not going to settle. I could have had a man if I wanted to, but I'm not going to settle. And so, you know, Liz is concerned that their lifestyles may not match. You know, he gonna want her home and she not gonna be home. And so I don't see it. I don't know if I see it for Jabari anymore, y'all. I don't know. Let me know how y'all feel in the comments though. Anywho, then we get LJ and what was that boy's name? Keith. He's not a boy, I'm sorry. Grown man. Keith come in his plaid pants to the date. And LJ, they showed a clip of LJ consoling Sherese. I think it was after Zoe and Sherese had gotten to it at the little pool place or wherever they were, the go-kart place. So anywho, so LJ said he's ready to grill the guy and all that. So Keith, he's saying how he is, he just does regular things, simple life. He spent a lot of his time, 25 years or whatever, raising his son, building his business. He's more of a homebody, lives a simple life. He said he hasn't really been traveling because LJ's like, well, Sherese, she like to be in the streets. She like to be flued out to the islands. So he said he hasn't really traveled much. He just finally traveled since like 20 years ago. Finally took a trip by himself and they were like, okay, where'd you go? He said Dallas. And Sherese is like, that's only a few hours from here. He got to start somewhere. But Dallas is not going anywhere. No shade to the Dallas people. But I'm going to need him to, get out there and see the world. But some people really don't do that. Like, there's so many people. I have family like that haven't been out and seen the world. And everybody, is not able to travel like that. Or that's not a priority for them. Like, people who are, my age or however old y'all are, like, we might have that luxury now, but everyone didn't have that luxury and everybody doesn't have that mindset or mentality. So that's very interesting. So I don't know if Sherese gonna like that. And so, LJ is concerned that Sherese could get bored with his type of lifestyle that they may not match. And Sherese said, that's definitely getting put in the con box for her. Okay, so then we see Ashlee go on a date with Kirsten. Y'all, this is where it got interesting. So Stormy comes on the date as well. So Ashlee said, Stormy was there through everything with Alex, aka Courtney, and they showed the flashback scene from that season and how she was supporting their relationship. Stormy said, she can't believe that Ashlee's back on Ready to Love after she didn't have her heart wrenched out on the first season. I was like, dang, girl. Make it sound worse. So then, now Stormy came on the date prepared in her blue dress, showing off all her body, yaddy, 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 and her goodies. And Ashlee did not like that. She was like, friend came on the date showing off her, her new body, all her titties, her assets, and all that. She's coming out for that dress. She's like, girl, like this date is for me. You need to tone it down. So already I was like, oh. Ashlee's about to give insecure. So then they go on a date. Kirsten is surprised. He's like, oh, you got another person here? Like, what's going on? And so Stormy's like, oh, this isn't like a throuple or a threesome or anything like that. She's like, I'm just, here for support. So Ashlee's like, yeah, she's here for more support to get to know you. And so Stormy says she, feels good vibes around him and all this stuff. And so she asked him how old he was, and he said 38. She's like, oh yeah, you don't look it. And so she was kind of like complimenting him a little bit, and she's like, oh, do you got a brother? Because I'm single. And he's like, oh, I do got 4 brothers. And he was like, okay, you single? You in these streets? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna hook you up with my brother. He's 6'5", whatever, fine like me and all this stuff. And so Ashlee just sitting there. This is the quietest I ever seen Ashlee be. I was like waiting for Ashlee to start interjecting and saying crazy stuff, and she was just on mute. I was like, where is Ashlee? Where's all this? Where is Ashlee on this date? So Ashlee in her confessionals telling us how pissed she's getting. Like, Stormy is up there reminding him that she's single and stuff. And she's like, girl, we're not here for you. We are not on Ready to Love. Like, this is about me. We need to be focused on helping me out, girl. You're supposed to be grilling him. So Stormy didn't understand the assignment. He over there talking to Stormy, asking her what she drinking. She's like, oh yeah, I'm drinking Chardonnay. I'm trying to be classy based. And he's like, oh, you starting early. And then I guess she had to fly away in her wig or whatever. And then he's like, oh, yeah, you got, something right there. And she's like, oh, yeah, thank you. So I'm like, oh, you look at her that hard that you noticing her hair getting messed up and all that. And she just sitting up there smiling at him. And Ashlee, her confessional was like, this is really pissing me off. Like, I don't understand what is going on. I feel like I'm a third wheel in their date. Like, at this point, I'm just, I'm not going to deal with this. Like, you want to date other people. Like, I'm just going to go. So then Ashlee gets up and walks off from the table. So in my mind, I don't know if she said I'm gonna go in that moment or she said it in the confessional, but she got up and walked away. Now, nobody goes after her. Kirsten didn't get up and run after her, and Stormy did not get up and run after her. So I was like, what is going on here? Like, nobody's going to go after Ashlee. Like, clearly she's upset. She just left the table. But she never did vocalize it. And I didn't see her express it in her body language. She kind of shrunk at the table. I don't know if she was immediately already intimidated and insecure by Stormy's outfit and the way Stormy came through. But I was like, where's Ashlee? Like, where's the bubbly personality? Like, girl, if this man's supposed to be here for you, you don't need to be tripping like this. So she went and talked to producers. Mind you, Kirsten and Stormy just sitting there. Kirsten picked up Ashlee's fan and playing with it, and she like, oh, boy, you stupid, you stupid. And so she went and talked to producers. Okay, she's like, I'm not feeling this. I'm feeling weird. I feel like I'm the third wheel. I'm on their date. And he was like, okay, do you feel like Stormy, you know, is liking him or something? And she was like, I don't know, but I just feel really weird and all this stuff. So then we don't get to see what happens with the rest. Maybe we'll see it next week. But I was like, what is going on here? Because wouldn't their natural inkling be to go after her? Like, wouldn't Stormy go check on her friend? Wouldn't Kristen be like, oh, let me go see what's going on with Ashlee? Like, was this scene made up? Like, what was going on? What was going on? Now, let me know what y'all think in the comments. Do you feel like Stormy was doing too much, or was Ashlee overreacting? Let me know what y'all think. I think that Ashlee already went in there feeling down on herself and feeling insecure, and we're seeing a lot of Ashlee's insecurities come up. However, Stormy, you was doing too much, okay? You could have toned down your outfit a little bit. But I ain't gonna let nobody else's outfit bother me in my outfit, because my outfit's gonna be on point. So first of all, I ain't gonna even worry about how you looking, because I'm worried about how I'm looking, okay? Stormy, talking about she being singing all that. Like, you need to be asking Kristen questions to see if he's gonna be right for your friend. And we didn't see Stormy do any of that. So in that case, I feel like Stormy was wrong. I feel like she did not understand the assignment. You worried about finding yourself a man instead of worrying about making sure Ashlee does not get hurt again. And you saw how down bad she was from season 1. So I definitely don't think that Stormy was really there to help her friend. She's definitely there to help herself. And I also am blaming Kristen. We can't forget about the man, okay? Because he was looking at her real hard. Because for him to notice something about her hair, he's looking at her too hard. And he's sitting up there asking her all these questions like they on a date. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. So I don't feel like Ashlee necessarily overreacted. I feel like Stormy and Kristen were both wrong in the situation. However, I do think that Ashlee already went in there feeling insecure and a little bit defeated, and she kind of shrunk at the table. Because I was like, where is Ashlee? So anyway, moving on from that, we do see the ladies go on dates with new guys for the week. What's her name? Zadya is tired of going on these new dates. She said she just want to go on dates with Cameron. But, you know, she's trying to be open. But she said her mind don't be into these dates. 40% of herself she only can give like a little bit, because she be worried about Cameron. She compare everyone to Cameron. So she goes on a date with this guy named Chris, but he said he goes by Dylan. And he was a little weird, y'all. I ain't gonna lie, he's a little weird. He said he was from New York. He moved to New Orleans. You know, Zadya said she's from Atlanta. She lives in D.C. He said D.C. is one of the best cities to take walks in. He said he moved to New Orleans. He's a teacher now. He's teaching 4th grade English. And he said, but he's a dyslexic. So gonna see how that goes. And so, and he barely just started teaching. Okay, this is like his first year teaching. I'd be curious to know why the career change now, but he's only 31, so that's actually not bad. I think he's just not at the point in life that Zadya would like him to be at, like Cameron is, right? So, because like I didn't really become a teacher until I was 30, like, or 29. Is when I started full-time teaching. And then I didn't even get my credential till I was like, I was in school still getting my credential when I was 30, because I had a career change, right? Because I originally got a master's in public administration, couldn't find a job, started subbing, got hired permanently. Then I got to go back to school and get my teaching credential and a master's in education. So like, I understand that. So I would like to know like his journey, like how he ended up in New Orleans to become a teacher now. And if he's at the first year of that journey, like, yeah, he got a lot going on, okay? Also, him being dyslexic and, you know, he's able to be an English teacher. Like, shout out to him overcoming his disability. Y'all know I work with students with special needs. Plus, I have my own disability. So I always like to hear stories like this. But all that set aside, he still was giving weird. Zadya said that she was, oh, you like dating older women? And he was like, well, it's not, you know, where I come from is rude to ask women his age. Or their age, I mean. And she's like, okay, you can guess. And so he was like, oh, you're an angel. She's like, angel? You make me sound ancient. He's like, oh, no, angels are timeless and all this stuff. And so she was like, okay, where would you take me, you know, on our next date? And he was like, oh, my art. He's like, I don't know why my mind is blanking. And he finally said art gallery. And I think Zadya's like 37 and he's 31. Yeah, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Anyway, you know, Zadya said as much as she's trying to put effort on these dates, she can only give a good 40% because she's too busy worried about Cameron. She just want to go on dates with Cameron, and I am mad at her. Okay, then we see Sherese go on this date with this guy named, I think his name was it Malik or Mazik or something like that. Michael Leak, something like that, child. Anyway, he was another zaddy. Now, they keep hooking Sherese up with these zaddies. Everybody Sherese going to date with got a beard. They in their 50s. They're older gentlemen. I say, what they think Sherese want, the older men or something? They only giving that to Sherese. What is going on? I mean, Verneesha get a little older ones too because they both in their 40s. But dang. I'm like, can we find them somebody 40, 42? Dang. So anyway. So they were into like a dance class. I don't know what kind of dances they was doing because first it looked like hip hop, then it looked like little salsa. I don't know what they was doing. I don't know if they was doing some R&B jams. I don't know what was going on. But I did like the dancing date because it was something, you know, out of their comfort zone. And Sherese said it was hard, like already dancing with somebody on a first date because they weren't really talking and it was very intimate. But he was looking her in the eye, so it made it like more comfortable for her. So she liked that. I liked their date. He was like, oh, you're very gorgeous. Did you know that? And so then they stopped to talk and they connected over having dogs and they want to have dog dates. And he said he's real genuine. You know, she feels like he's real genuine. He said he's a hopeless romantic and, you know, he's just looking for, you know, he has a nice, simple life. He just walks his dog and he's looking for, you know, love and all that. And so he asked when's her birthday. She said August 22nd. She's a honorable Leo. He said February something. He a Pisces. And she's like, oh, maybe your water could put out my fire. And I was like, ain't y'all a little too old to be worried about the signs of it all? Like, what? So anyway, he was like, oh, you got a little fire too? I hope you do. And so they seem to like each other. And so then they danced some more. That day, now Sherese needs to go with him and leave Keith behind, okay? We got rid of Maurice. We can go and leave Keith at home and let him take his trips to Houston, Dallas, and Atlanta. She could go on with this new guy, though. Then we see Verneesha goes on a date with Tabari, okay? And which rhymes with Jabari. And Verneesha was like, that's crazy that their names rhyme. I was like, what are they, twins or something? But no, they don't look alike. So they went to some place to make fragrances. Tabari said he's just looking to have a good time. He's not going to put on no front. He likes to have fun. Because he said if you're looking for love, you know, you don't want to keep just giving like a fake impression putting on. So at first I was like, what? Like, I don't know about him. But then when we got to the date, I actually ended up liking him. Verneesha, they're like making perfumes or something. So he asked, Verneesha asked, like, tell me more about you and all that. And so he said, you know, he just likes to have fun in life and all that. And she's like, well, it's more to like the fun, right? And so he's like, of course, I can't have fun all the time. Unfortunately, he's like, really, like, you know, I'm really busy with my real estate. I manage a restaurant. I own a radio. What did he say? A radio company or something like that, radio station. So he said he's really busy with that. But, you know, when has his free time, he wants to have fun. And so Verneesha liked the fact that he's an entrepreneur like her, and so they have similar lifestyles. And so she was like, it's like a breath of fresh air with him because Jabari is very like more set in his ways, has that 9-to-5 lifestyle, which is nothing wrong with that, but it may not mesh with Verneesha's, right? So he asked her like, what you like to do for fun? And she's like, oh, everything I do is fun. And he's like, okay, tell me what we're doing for the next 3, 4, 5 dates. And so they named the fragrance after him. I was like, girl, I guess. But I would like to see Verneesha put Jabari on ice and move on to Tabari. What y'all let me know. Let me know what y'all think in the comments about that. Should she move on to Tabari or keep Jabari? Ooh, these names gonna confuse me. Anywho, last date we see is Ashlee going to date with what was his name? Mike Kelly or something like that. Or what was his name? I think it was Michael Kelly, but I could be wrong. So, he's like 35 years old. He never been on a blind date, but he's pretty spontaneous. And so he came in there with his t-shirt and his jeans on. I was like, where are they getting these people for this show? Because it was, I don't know. Anyway, it was a paint and sip date, y'all. He said he's never done the paint and sip before. I always wanted to do the paint and sip. I've done one like somebody came to the house, but I want to like go out and do one where they play music and stuff. And so he was like, what's your nickname? She said Ashlee said hers is Brown Sugar. He said his is Box, like B-O-A. They spelled it in a weird way. But basically, that was his name because they said his head looked like a box growing up. So they were laughing, having fun. Ashley said, she's tired of going on all these dates, but it was nice like having a fresh start with this guy because, everything she's been through. And he was making her laugh and keeping her attention, right? So then she was like, okay, when was your last relationship? He said 3 or 4 months ago. She was like, skirt, skirt. Hold up. And so she's like, wait, what? And so then he tried to move on and ask her. She was like, no, we ain't skirting past that. And so she was like, how long was that relationship? He said 3.5, 4 years. She was like, And to her confession, she was like, I ain't about to be the rebound girl, And I don't blame you, Ashlee. And so she was like, you don't need to be on no date. Like, you need to be at home healing, like working on that. And so he was like, no, like I'm good. And she was like, that's like probationary period because they could get back together. Very true. Like if they were together that long, there's a lot of people who don't cut stuff off clean and dry. A lot of y'all, okay? So anywho, yeah, I would be concerned about that as well, Ashlee. So anyway, I don't know. I feel like Donald was Ashlee's best bet at this point because Kirsten is a no for me. Oh, that other dude, the restaurant dude, I liked him, but I guess she didn't like him enough. So I don't know what Ashlee gonna do, y'all. I really don't know what Ashlee about to do. So anyway, we get back down to the house and Tamica Lee has everybody, all the ladies there, plus they're ready to love friends, okay? And so she's talking about the date. She asked Zadya first because Zadya was rolling her eyes. And so she's like, Kamil, she was kind of giving Cameron a lot. She asked Kamil, well, okay, what'd you think of Cameron? And so Kamil, Camille's making her faces as usual. She's like, oh, those eyes, girl. And so Camille's like, Cameron's very nice, but he's not the right one for my girl. I don't see it for him. I don't think that's the man for you. And so Zadya was like, she is concerned because the last guy that Kamil was like, girl, that ain't it. She was right about it. And so now she is kind of like listening to her, but she's still gonna make her own decision, like Kamil said. And so in the confessional, Kamil said that Zadya has blinders on. And Zadya was like, Zadya does not have blinders on. I am not a racehorse. That's how I know that's right. Zadya was very much giving Camille's getting on her nerves. Did y'all catch that? Anyway, then we get to Verneesha and Liz. Liz says, she's concerned about Jabari not being able to compromise and their lifestyles being too different and wanting something else from Verneesha. Side note, did y'all hear how Jabari on the date was saying like, oh, he thinks that Liz is trying to tell Verneesha like, you may have to give this guy some more. And I was like, Jabari, that's not what it was giving. It was very much giving Jabari, you may not be able to handle Verneesha's lifestyle is the point we were trying to get across. I was like, Jabari, you putting a lot on yourself, sir. So anywho, Verneesha, well, Tamica asked, did you tell Liz about Jabari before this? And she's like, yeah, I did. And she's like, yeah, she was pretty much spot on about everything. So now Verneesha says she has a tough decision to make. Then we get to LJ and Sherese. And Sherese liked her date with Keith, but they're concerned about him being maybe living that boring lifestyle, not traveling the world. And she gonna be calling LJ talking about she bored. And so Tamica said, sometimes a partner can bring that out of you. Like you can show them those things. And so LJ was like, yeah, that's true. Like maybe, she can show him like travel things and where to go and all that. Maybe it's possible, it might be a good balance for Sherese. That kind of guy might be a good balance for Sherese. I don't know. We will see. I think I like the other guy for her better though. Let me know who y'all think everybody should match up with though in the comments. And then last but not least, Ashlee. So Stormy couldn't be there. So Tamica said Stormy could not be here with us today, but we did see Stormy go on a date with Kirsten. Ashlee was like, yeah, you said it right. Stormy went on a date with Kirsten. And she was like, and I was just there. And so everybody was looking crazy. And next thing you know, Ashlee popped out her fan. She found herself with her head down. In the confessional, she's like, she really don't want to answer a lot of questions about it. And that's where the episode ended. And I was like, wait a minute. What's going on here? So I guess maybe next week we'll get all the tea on that, y'all. We also gonna see that they have a birthday party for Zadya. And Sherese told somebody not to touch her. I didn't get a good look at him in the confessional. If y'all know who it was, drop it in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, y'all. We're going to be catching up with Love and Marriage Huntsville as well, either tonight or tomorrow. And then we'll just get back on track with Married at First Sight on Wednesday, y'all. All right, talk to y'all soon. Bye.